You're not stuck. You're just stuck with the wrong haircut. The difference between looking polished and looking older than you feel can come down to what's sitting on your head. The best part? The most powerful, face-lifting, age-erasing haircut is the final one we'll reveal at the end of this video. It's the kind of change that turns heads without shouting for attention. You'll want to see it before you book another appointment, or risk walking out of the salon with a style that aged you another 10 years. Now let's get honest. If you're over 60, still rocking a haircut that hasn't changed since your kids were teenagers, it's time for a reset. And I'm not saying that to be harsh. I'm saying it because no one else will. Friends are too polite. Stylists won't risk their tip. But I'm here to tell you what others won't. Some haircuts are holding you back. Not just from looking good, but from feeling like your best self. Take a long look in the mirror. Does your hair move? Does it catch the light? Or does it sit like a sculpture, frozen in time, draining every bit of softness from your face? Haircut number 1 that doesn't fit anymore is the dreaded helmet hair. Too much spray, too much structure, too little grace. It's the style that looks like it's bracing for a wind tunnel, and honestly, it makes you look like you're trying too hard to hold it together. Even if your life is vibrant and full of color, this haircut tells the world something different. It says stuck. It says rigid. It says, I gave up, but I don't want you to notice. And worst of all, it puts all the wrong focus on your face, emphasizing everything you'd rather soften. The solution? A layered cut with movement. Something that frames your features, not fights them. A style that says you're still evolving, still living, still learning. Because here's the truth. Your hair should whisper sophistication, not scream resistance to change. Now pause. If you're still here, you're clearly someone who values the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. But let me ask, are you subscribed? Because if you're not, ask yourself why you're okay hearing hard truths that could completely transform how the world sees you, and then letting that power slip away. Don't just sit there. Hit subscribe before you forget. Or head to the comments section and tell me what's stopping you. Fear of change? Fear of commitment? I'll wait. Haircut number 2 that no longer fits is the ultra-cropped, no-nonsense cut. You've been told it's easy to manage and low maintenance. But here's what they're not telling you. It's also stripping away your softness, your femininity, and every ounce of elegance you've earned. This style hugs the scalp too tightly. It exposes everything. Temples, hairline, every fine line and wrinkle. It offers no balance, no softness, and worst of all, it puts your features under a spotlight without any lighting tricks. This isn't about short versus long. It's about shape, intent, grace. Because a good shortcut can be gorgeous, but the wrong shortcut, it can make you look like you're gearing up for boot camp instead of brunch. If your stylist keeps pushing this as the only practical option, it's time to push back. What works better? A softly layered pixie with volume where it matters. At the crown, around the fringe. Something that moves, lifts, flatters. A cut that frames your face, not exposes it. And here's a secret. Soft shortcuts are magnets for compliments, and they pair perfectly with bold earrings, elegant scarves, and that confidence you've earned with every year of your life. But if you're still hanging on to that scalp-hugging, style-smothering crop because it's easier, ask yourself, easier than what? Easier than looking radiant? Easier than liking what you see in the mirror? That's not ease. That's settling. And you deserve more. You've earned more. Still not subscribed? Let's be honest. This video is giving you more than half the stylists out there, and we're not even halfway done. So either hit that button now or drop into the comments and explain how free content that makes you look better doesn't deserve one click. You're better than that. Now let's talk about a haircut that's been dragging too many women down, literally. It's the long, lifeless length. You might think hanging onto your long hair makes you look youthful, but in reality, if there's no shape, no movement, and no intention behind it, it's doing the opposite. Long, heavy, shapeless hair has a way of pulling your entire face downward, exaggerating jowls, flattening your profile, and turning even the healthiest skin tone into something washed out and tired. It's not the length that's the problem. It's the lack of life. Long hair works beautifully on older women when it's layered, light, and thoughtfully styled. But just dragging around tired strands because you're emotionally attached to your younger self isn't doing you any favors. That extra length can act like an anchor on your face, a visual weight that drags down your energy and makes you look like you're hiding behind the past. Want to keep your long hair? You absolutely can, but give it purpose. Aim for a collarbone-length cut or a long bob, something that moves, frames, and flatters. Add volume near the roots. Bring in layers to give your ends a lift, and most importantly, treat your hair like it matters. Because when it does, people notice. They don't say, "She has long hair." They say, "She looks amazing." If your hair is thinning, which is perfectly normal by the way, then let's stop pretending it isn't. Strategically cut layers can add fullness. A touch of wave or curl adds dimension. But hanging on to thin, dead ends for nostalgia's sake? That's not loyalty. That's self-sabotage. And frankly, that haircut is telling the world you're afraid of change. And fear, darling, is the one thing that ages a woman faster than time. If you're still here, it means you know this is hitting a nerve, and that's a good thing. You're not in denial. You're listening, but are you acting? If you're watching all the way through but haven't hit subscribe, you're doing the visual equivalent of standing at a party, eavesdropping on someone else's advice and refusing to admit it's about you. Don't be that woman. Subscribe now or go admit in the comments that you're ignoring the mirror, and maybe even yourself. You don't have to, though. All it takes is one decision to step forward. Speaking of stepping forward, let's talk about the next haircut you need to leave in the past. The blunt, heavy bangs. Cut straight across like someone used a ruler and zero imagination. This style is less frame your face and more build a barrier. Some women are clinging to this cut thinking it hides forehead lines or lifts the eyes. It doesn't. It shrinks the face, boxes in your features, and draws a harsh horizontal line that makes everything else look smaller. Your eyes, your cheekbones, even your smile. And don't get me started on the upkeep. Unless you're married to your flat iron and live at the salon, these bangs start looking messy faster than you can say, "What was I thinking?" A much more flattering option. Wispy side-swept bangs or curtain bangs that flow into your style instead of chopping it into two halves. They're forgiving, easy to grow out, and they soften your look in all the right places. The best part? These bangs still disguise the fine lines you're worried about, but they do it with grace, not desperation. If you've been staring in the mirror and convincing yourself those heavy bangs add youth, you might be confusing familiarity with flattery. There's a difference between feeling safe and feeling seen, and a blunt bang is often a shield, not a solution. Still haven't subscribed? Let me ask, are you planning to walk into your next hair appointment with this same tired bang cut, hoping for different results? That's the definition of style insanity. You can either subscribe now and own your evolution, or avoid the button and admit to the world you're comfortable settling for less than stunning. I won't judge. But the comment section might. Let's now turn to the next culprit quietly stealing elegance from so many women over 60, the pixie cut gone wrong. Not all pixie cuts are created equal, and you probably already know this if you've ever had one done poorly. The mistake here isn't the cut itself. It's choosing a pixie that's either too harsh or too limp. Some women walk out of the salon with what looks like a helmet or a scalp-hugging cap, hoping to appear fresh and edgy. But instead, it hardens their features and amplifies the angularity in all the wrong ways. A flat pixie can expose everything you're trying to balance: scalp, thinning spots, jawline, even earlobes that have sagged over time. It can also emphasize age lines, especially around the temples and jaw. The key is shape, softness, and subtle structure. If your pixie has no movement, no texture, no lift at the crown, then it's not a style. It's a statement that says, "I've given up." The best pixies for older women are never stiff or severe. They're tousled, layered, and styled with intention. They lift your face, open up your features, and tell the world you're still daring, but also polished. If your current cut makes your head look smaller than your glasses or draws attention to your neck more than your smile, it's not the right pixie. It's punishing you. Here's the thing. Women who know better do better. And if you're watching this far in, then you're the kind of woman who knows better. But are you willing to look at your own reflection with the same honesty? If you're watching this and still haven't subscribed, ask yourself why. Is it because you're afraid this video might just hold up a mirror too sharp? Because if you're absorbing all of this wisdom, changing your style, and walking into your next haircut armed with better choices, but can't click one button to stay empowered, you're not just missing out. You're hiding, and style has no patience for that. Subscribe now or explain in the comments why you won't and own it. Otherwise, do something bold and back it up with action. Now finally, let's talk about one haircut mistake that quietly does the most damage: the non-haircut. Yes, I'm talking about the "I haven't been to a salon in 6 months, and I'm just letting it grow out" look. It's not a style, it's neglect. And it shows. Some women believe that skipping haircuts makes them look more natural, more low maintenance, or somehow free of vanity. But it doesn't. It makes you look like you've stepped off the path. Hair, especially on older women, needs regular shaping to stay fresh, intentional, and expressive. When you avoid trims, layers grow out unevenly. The ends fray. Volume disappears. Your cut loses structure, and suddenly your face has nothing anchoring it. Worse, when people look at you, they don't see graceful aging. They see someone who's stopped trying. And that's not what you want to communicate. Maintenance doesn't mean vanity. It means self-respect. And you deserve that. The most elegant women over 60 know this. They don't wait for special occasions to look put together. They carry that look every day because they understand that presentation is power. Your hair is one of the first things people notice about you. It's your silent introduction. So what is yours saying? Because if your haircut is outdated, shapeless, or uninspired, chances are you're giving people the wrong impression before you've even said a word. But you can change that. Today. Right now. You've listened all the way through, and now you've got real tools, not just warnings. You've seen what not to do, and more importantly, what to do instead. You're no longer styling in the dark. You've got clarity, confidence, and a mirror that reflects not just who you are, but who you're becoming. And yet, some of you will walk away and do nothing. You'll nod, maybe even agree, but scroll on without subscribing, without changing, and without committing to your own evolution. If that's you, I challenge you. Step into the comments right now and explain why. Why would you let all this value pass you by? Why would you risk walking into your next haircut still wearing a style that doesn't represent the woman you are today, or the one you want to be tomorrow? But if you're done hiding, if you're done letting time, habit, or fear make your style choices, then show it. Subscribe now. Because the next time we talk about style, you'll want to be in the room. And the next cut you get, it won't just fit, it'll speak.